Okay, we are on part 4 of Act 1 of the Crucible. We are on page 590. If you have not watched part 1, part 2, or part 3, make sure you go back and you watch those. We're on part 4. We're on paragraph 370. We're about to learn about Old Giles and interesting facts about him.
He was in his early 80s at this time.
Okay, I got to rewind it a little bit, sorry.
Grip, we may have to rip and tear to get her free.
I think I'll go there.
To look for her around Corey's house. A fire blazing up at night brought suspicion of arson to...
Oh, sorry, no, I went too far.
Old Giles must be spoken for, if only because his fate was to be so remarkable and so different from that of all the others. He was in his early 80s at this time and was the most comical hero in the history. No man has ever been blamed for so much. If a cow was missed, the first thought was to look for her around Corey's house. A fire blazing up at night brought suspicion of arson to his door. He didn't give a hoot for public opinion, and only in his last years, after he had married Martha, did he bother much with the church. That she stopped his prayer is very probable, but he forgot to say that he'd only recently learned any prayers, and it didn't take much to make him stumble over them. He was a crank and a nuisance, but withal a deeply innocent and brave man. In court once, he was asked if it were true that he had been frightened by the strange behavior of a hog, and had then said he knew it to be the devil in an animal's shape. "What frighted you?" he was asked. He forgot everything but the word frighted, and instantly replied, "I do not know that I ever spoke that word in my life."
Ah, the stoppage of prayer. That is strange. I'll speak further on that with you.
I'm not saying she's touched the devil now, but I'd admire to know what books she reads and why she hides them. She'll not answer me, you see.
I will discuss it. Now, mark me. If the devil is in her, you will witness some frightful wonders in this room. So please to keep your wits about you. Mr. Putnam, stand close in case she flies. Now, Betty dear, will you sit up?
Putnam comes in closer, ready-handed. Hale sits Betty up, but she hangs limp in his hands.
Can you hear me? I am John Hale, minister of Beverly. I have come to help you, dear. Do you remember my 2 little girls in Beverly?
How can it be the devil? Why would he choose my house to strike? We have all manner of licentious people in the village.
What victory would the devil have to win a soul already bad? It is the best the devil wants, and who is better than the minister?
That's deep, Mr. Parrish. Deep. Deep.
Betty. Answer Mr. Hale. Betty.
Does someone afflict you, child? It need not be a woman, mind you, or a man. Perhaps some bird invisible to others comes to you. Perhaps a pig, a mouse, or any beast at all. Is there some figure bids you fly?
The child remains limp in his hands. In silence he lays her back on the pillow. Now holding out his hands toward her, he intones,
In nomine Domini, Saboth sui filique ite ad infernos.
She does not stir. He turns to Abigail, his eyes narrowing.
Abigail, what sort of dancing were you doing with her in the forest?
Why, common dancing is all.
I think I ought to say that I saw a kettle in the grass where they were dancing.
That were only soup.
What sort of soup were in this kettle, Abigail?
Why, it were beans and lentils, I think, and...
Mr. Parris, you did not notice, did you, any living thing in the kettle? A mouse, perhaps? A spider? A frog?
I do believe there was some movement in the soup?
That jumped in. We never put it in.
What jumped in?
Why, a very little frog
A
jumped
frog, Abby!
Abigail, it may be your cousin is dying. Did you call the devil last night?
I never called him. Tituba! Tituba!
She called the devil?
I should like to speak with Tituba.
Goody Anne, will you bring her up?
How did she call him?
I know not. She spoke Barbados.
Did you feel any strangeness when she called him? A sudden cold wind, perhaps? A trembling below the ground?
I didn't see no devil. Betty! Wake up, Betty! Betty!
You cannot evade me, Abigail. Did your cousin drink any of the brew in that kettle?
She never drank it.
Did you drink it?
No, sir.
Did Tituba ask you to drink it?
She tried, but I refused.
Why are you concealing? Have you sold yourself to Lucifer?
I never sold myself. I'm a good girl. I'm a proper girl.
Mrs. Putnam enters with Tituba, and instantly Abigail points at Tituba.
She made me do it. She made Betty do it.
Abby!
She makes me drink blood.
Blood?
My baby's blood? No, chicken blood. I give she chicken blood.
Woman, have you enlisted these children for the devil?
No, sir. I don't truck with no devil.
Why can she not wake? Are you silencing this child?
I love me, Betty.
You have sent your spirit out upon this child, have you not? Are you gathering souls for the devil?
She sends her spirit on me in church. She makes me laugh at prayer.
She have...
Okay, so all of a sudden, Abigail is afraid that she is going to be, have a finger pointed at her of consorting with the devil. And so she blames Tituba. And Tituba is their faithful servant who has probably been with them for years and is like a mom to the girls. So Abigail blamed Tituba of making them practice witchcraft and drink blood. And now she's going to accuse her of something else.
Often laughed at prayer.
She comes to me every night to go and drink blood.
You beg me to conjure. She begged me to make
Don't
charge.
lie! She comes to me while I sleep. She's always making me dream corruptions.
Why you say that, Abby?
Sometimes I wake and find myself standing in the open doorway and not a stitch on my body. I always hear her laughing in my sleep. I hear her singing her Barbados songs and tempting me with...
Mr. Reverend, I never...
Tituba, I want you to wake this child.
I have no power on this child, sir.
You most certainly do, and you will free her from it now. When did you compact with the devil?
I don't compact with no devil.
You will confess yourself or I will take you out and whip you to your death, Tituba.
This woman must be hanged. She must be taken and hanged.
No, don't hang Tituba. I tell him I don't desire to work for him, sir.
The devil.
Then you saw him. Now, Tituba, I know that when we buy...
Sorry. So they are now all immediately pointing the finger at Tituba. And it doesn't matter what Tituba says, they're not going to believe her.
You saw him. Now, Tituba, I know that when we bind ourselves to hell, it is very hard to break with it. We are going to help you tear yourself free.
Mr. Reverend, I do believe somebody else bewitching these children.
Who?
I don't know, sir. But the devil got him numerous witches.
Does he? It is a clue. Tituba, look into my eyes. Come, look into me. You would be a good Christian woman, would you not, Tituba?
I, sir, a good Christian woman.
And you love these little children.
Oh, yes, sir. I don't desire to hurt little children.
And you love God, Tituba.
I love God with all my being.
Now in God's holy name
Bless him. Bless him.
and to his glory,
Eternal glory. Bless him. Bless God.
open yourself, Tituba. Open yourself and let God's...
Oh, bless the Lord.
When the devil comes to you, does he ever come with another person? Perhaps another person in the village, someone you know.
Who came with him?
Sarah Good? Did you ever see Sarah Good with him? Or Osborne?
Was it man or woman came with him?
Man or woman? Was woman.
What woman? A woman, you said. What woman?
It was black dark and I...
You could see him. Why could you not see her?
Well, they was always talking and they was always running around and carrying on.
You
and...
mean out of Salem? Salem witches?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Tituba, you must have no fear to tell us who they are, do you understand? We will protect you. The devil can never overcome a minister. You know that, do you not?
Aye, sir. Oh, I do.
You have confessed yourself to witchcraft, and that speaks a wish to come to heaven's side, and we will bless you, Tituba.
Oh, God bless you, Mr. Hale.
You are God's instrument put in our hands to discover the devil's agents among us. You are selected, Tituba. You are chosen to help us cleanse our village. So speak utterly, Tituba. Turn your back on him and face God. Face God, Tituba, and God will protect you.
Oh, God protect Tituba.
Who came to you with the devil? 2, 3, 4? How many?
There was 4. There was 4.
Who? Who? Their names. Their names.
Oh, how many times he bid me kill you, Mr. Paris.
Kill me?
He say Mr. Paris must be killed. Mr. Paris no goodly man. Mr. Paris mean man and no gentle man, and he bid me rise out my bed and cut your throat. But I tell him no. I don't hate that man. I don't want to kill that man, but he say you work for me, Tituba, and I make you free. I give you pretty dress to wear and put you way up high in the air, and you gonna fly back to Barbados, and I say you lie, devil, you lie. And then he come one stormy night to me and he say, look, I have white people belong to me, and I look, and there was Goody Good.
Sarah Good?
Aye, sir, and Goody Osborne. I knew it. Goody Osborne were midwife to me 3 times. I begged you, Thomas, did I not? I begged him not to call Osborne because I feared her. My baby's always shriveled in her hands.
Take courage. You must give us all their names. How can you bear to see this child suffering? Look at her, Tituba. Look at her God-given innocence. Her soul is so tender. We must protect her, Tituba. The devil is out and preying on her like a beast upon the flesh of the pure lamb. God will bless you for your help.
Abigail rises, staring as though inspired, and cries out.
I want to open myself.
They turn to her, startled. She is enraptured as though in a pearly light.
I want the light of God. I want the sweet love of Jesus. I danced for the devil. I saw him. I wrote in his book. I go back to Jesus. I kiss his hand. I saw Sarah Good with the devil. I saw Goody Osborne with the devil. I saw Bridget Bishop with the devil.
As she is speaking, Betty is rising from the bed, a fever in her eyes, and picks up the chant.
I saw George Jacobs with the devil. I saw Goody Howe with the devil.
She speaks. She speaks!
Glory to God! It is broken! They are free!
I saw Martha Bellows with the devil. I saw Goody Cibber with the devil.
Marshal! I'll call the marshal!
I saw Alice Barrow with the devil.
Let the marshal bring irons.
I saw Goody Hawkins with the devil. I saw Goody Bibber with the devil. I saw Goody Booth with the devil.
Okay, the curtain falls. So, these girls now, so Tituba, Betty, and Abigail start to list off people they saw with the devil to save themselves from persecution. So they were afraid that they would be persecuted for witchcraft and hanged. So they decided to start listing off a bunch of people that they saw with the devil. Now, instead of just listing 4 people that Tituba saw, said she saw, now they listed a lot more than 4. And Abigail didn't have to start saying anything. Betty didn't have to start saying anything. But now they have listed off all of these different people that they saw with the devil. So these kids are unleashing a lot of terror onto this village. It's pretty unfortunate. So we can connect this to the McCarthy hearings, because McCarthy just started listing off people he said were communists and communist sympathizers without any evidence. And this is the same with the witch trials. Either they implicate someone is with the devil, or then people will believe that they are with the devil. So there's real no way to win in this situation. Okay, that's the end of Act 1. You do want to make sure that you answer these comprehension check questions. I will see you for Act 2.